Hi, my name's Shannon Normoyle, and I'm here to teach you about digital forensics and social media. In this presentation, we'll go over what a social networking site is, what crimes can be committed on this site, what kind of evidence can be discovered on these sites, how the evidence is discovered, and what laws protect what we put on these sites. So what is a social networking site? Most people already know what a social networking site is, but I figured I'd put this in. A social network site is basically a website where people can meet other people with similar interests, communicate with friends they already have, and post pretty much anything they want. All these posts are public, so almost anybody can see them. Some good examples of social networking sites are Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Tumblr, and there are a lot more. So what do these have to do with digital forensics? Quite a lot, actually. Not only are these sites used for communication and making friends, but sometimes their services are used for criminal matters. Some of these crimes include cyber harassment and cyber stalking. Evidence for crimes can also be found on these sites, whether it be in the form of pictures, posts, events, etc. Social networks may have made investigating crimes a little easier. Evidence is more accessible to law enforcement because it's out in the open, on the internet, and it's public. So what kind of evidence is found on these sites? A lot of times college kids think that they're cool for drinking underage, so they'll take pictures and post them all over the internet of their big parties and show off and all of that. Unfortunately for them, it's illegal to be drinking under 21, and these pictures can get them in a lot of trouble. Plenty of schools have used these photos as evidence against them and gotten them in trouble because they're against university policies. Also, schools have crashed parties because of students making big events for the illegal parties. A lot of cyberbullying incidents are committed on social networking sites, sometimes anonymously and sometimes not. These incidents range from a mean comment here and there to malicious words that have caused kids to commit suicide. There are a lot of cases of this. Ryan Halligan, for example, was a 13-year-old boy who told one joke and was then ridiculed for years and accused of being a homosexual. He ended up committing suicide. Hannah Smith was a more extreme case. The girl, just 14 years old, made an Ask.fm account and constantly got hate mail and had anonymous users telling her to kill herself. She couldn't take it anymore, and one day she did. Days later, her older sister got messages about the loss. None of them were kind-hearted and supportive as expected. Rather, they were harsh and mocking. A continuation of the cyberbullying. Another infamous cyberbullying case is that of Megan Meyer. She and her friend down the street had an on-and-off-again friendship. One day, the girl down the road's mother decided she was going to make a MySpace account for a boy named Josh, a boy that didn't actually exist. The mother continued to message Megan and get close to her. They started online dating for a while, and then one day, the mom used the account to try to figure out if Megan was saying anything mean about her daughter. She didn't get any kind of evidence to this, but she did continue to send very mean messages to Megan. Some of them telling her that life would be better off without Megan. So, Megan couldn't take it anymore, and Megan ended up killing herself. A while later, Megan's family found out that it was her friend and her mother that had created the account. Cyberbullying comes in many different forms and from many different people. This is why there are now laws against it, which we'll talk about later in this presentation. So what other kind of evidence is found on Facebook? Well, believe it or not, Facebook is a big source for evidence in divorce cases. A lot of times when two people are getting divorced, they'll post bad stuff about each other on Facebook, or if one of them's having an affair, maybe that'll be on the website, and of course the other one's going to find it because it's a public site. So if you're going through the divorce, these posts can make you look really bad in front of the judge, in front of the other lawyers, and especially if there's a custody battle, each parent's trying to look like the better person and look like they're more fit to take care of the children. And if you've got all this stuff about partying or cheating or just slandering the other person on Facebook, it's not going to help your case. In fact, believe it or not, 4/5 of divorce lawyers use Facebook as a source in cases, and about 66% of cases actually use the Facebook evidence in the trial. Gangs and religious extremists will sometimes use Twitter to recruit members. They'll make posts enticing new members to join. The publicity of Twitter definitely gets the word out to potential members, but it can also expose the gang to law enforcement. What kind of information can be taken from social networking sites? When building a profile on a social network site, you enter a lot of personal information. Your name, birthday, general location, and sometimes even a short biography. For some sites, you even enter your sexual preference, religious beliefs, relationship status, interests, and sometimes a phone number. All of this information is considered public, since it's voluntarily posted with little to no expectation of privacy. Even if these things aren't plainly written out, they can be assumed from other information present, like posts or Facebook likes. So how does this aid in investigations? People like to brag about their crimes and achievements. They'll make posts and put up pictures about their plans and successes. This is one way that law enforcement can find out about crimes and find perpetrators. Some sites have the option to put your current location in the post. If the investigator can get the GPS location or metadata from the post, he or she can find the perp. With the law monitoring social media sites, some gangs have come up with code words. Using the code words, they can discuss crimes as if they're casual conversation, although most of the codes have already been deciphered. How does law enforcement get this information? Facebook's privacy policy protects its users. While a lot of information is already public, everything else needs a court order, a warrant, and a subpoena. They also have advanced privacy settings, which can hide more information from the public than a normal profile. For investigations, Facebook will also ban a user from their profile for 90 days, if necessary for the investigation. This is in order to preserve evidence. To get more information about how Facebook protects your privacy, you can go on Facebook's website and go down to the bottom and click Privacy Policy. Twitter, on the other hand, has a completely different privacy policy. They claim everything on the site is public and can be accessed by anyone. All information and tweets are completely open to everybody. This could be incredibly useful to law enforcement because they don't have to jump through hoops to obtain information. Unfortunately, and rather strangely, Twitter will withhold information if there's a criminal investigation and the person involved requests privacy. If you're planning a crime, don't post about it on Twitter. Anyone can see it without the proper paperwork. What laws are there to protect our privacy on social networking sites? With laws finally catching up to modern technology, there are a lot of internet-related laws. These include PIPEDA, Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act, and 18 U.S.C. 2701. These protect our privacy and limit the law from over-searching and illegally getting evidence. There are also laws against cyberbullying. It's considered aggravated harassment in the state of New York, my home state. Aggravated harassment is considered a Class A misdemeanor, which can get from 15 days to 1 year in prison. Here's my research paper on all of this information, from pretty much the illegal stuff that's done online, how it's found, and the laws preventing law enforcement agents to abuse their privileges of gathering information from these sites. What effect does social media have on investigations? While social media has made way for some new crimes, such as impersonation and cyberbullying, it has also given investigators a new medium to get information. So much information is available on these sites, and a lot of it is put there voluntarily and for the public eye to view.